What's good? You're listening to IRN BRZ Radio. This is MacKenzie. Last Saturday I attended a tribute event for one of Scotland's most talented young producers. David McQuarrie, also known as Laigo, also known as Florist, was an enigmatic figure in the Scottish hip-hop scene. He collaborated with some of the best acts in the country, and tragically he took his own life last year at the age of 26. His friends and family gathered last weekend to pay tribute to him at the Icebox. The event features performances from his friends and collaborators and also raised money for Chris's House, a charity which provides a centre of help, response and intervention surrounding suicide.
We're going to have a really fucking good night tonight. He's up for a party, by the way. We're going to do David Proud. He's up for it?
I caught up with event organiser and Laigo collaborator Mark Magee outside the venue and spoke to him about how he remembers David.
I first knew him as Florist, and I just remember thinking their beats are incredible, and I just assumed he was an older guy just because the beats sounded very advanced for a young guy. Then I met him, I booked him for the Loch Lomond boat party when he was Urchins, and I met him to sort of give him some tickets or something, and I couldn't believe how young he actually was. And then he rebranded as Laigo, and his beats just get better and better. I think that the hip-hop scene could be doing with learning from David. He was a songwriter, he wasn't just a beatmaker, he was a songwriter.
I also spoke to fellow producer and rapper Kid Robotic about how he remembers working with Laigo.
Funnily enough, it was a year ago today that we released our first collaboration together, which was quite weird. But yeah, the main memory of him collaborating with him is that he was fussy as fuck. Very fussy, very... I want to say difficult, but I don't want to sound harsh. But like, he knew he was though. He knew, but that's why his stuff came out so good.
You got to see a little bit of his creative process then?
A little bit, aye. A little bit, not too much.
So how would you describe that creative process?
Very open and like, just like creative as possible. Like, not ruling anything out at all, do you know what I mean? He was very open to just trying things, and if it worked, then it didn't, do you know what I mean?
Scottish rapper, author and journalist Loki was one of Laigo's closest collaborators. They worked extensively together on multiple projects over the years. I spoke to him about his memories of David.
I became aware of him in 2013. I got a random message from a wee guy called David McQuarrie, who was like in his mind going out on a limb trying to contact somebody he thought was never going to get back to him. He was just like bigging me up and saying like he loved the shit and all that. I got back to him, I was like, nice one, have you got a link to your stuff and all that? And then I started listening, I was like, this cunt is like Jay Dilla or something, do you know what I mean? Like, in terms of the beat styles he was doing at that time, it was boom bap, but it was dead chill. And also, it was employing a lot of musical tastes and genres that I would say were beyond his years at that point, you know what I mean? So we just struck it off straight away. We were in contact every other day about music or other stuff. We had plans, his music's featured in my TV series. I had just released an album and he produced most of it and also did the artwork for it. So I was very fond of him.
Laigo left behind a vast body of work in his short life. I spoke with Mark Magee about what the plans were for a posthumous release.
It just seems like, while everyone else is out having Instagram stories about them being at gigs, he was in putting the work in and just actually working on his beats, on his craft. And we're talking hundreds and hundreds of beats that no one's ever heard. It's incredible. After he passed away, it's like, right, okay, we need to make these songs well. So I think it's going to be a delay. I think it's probably going to be the end of the year before you'll hear a lot of these songs. So, you know what I mean? It may be 2021's his year when all these songs finally come out. Or, you know, he might have sold the same beat to everyone. I don't know. We'll find out. But it'd be good if everyone just got their heads together and made something special, because he was a special producer. And I think that take your time and make this just a good album that can stand the test of time.
I asked all the performers what their favourite Laigo tracks were. Here's a few of them.
I can't even remember the name of the tune, but it's the one where like pretty much everyone in the Scottish scene's on it. It's got like 8 MCs on it.
Alright, that was the one with like me.
You're on it as well, yeah.
Big Al.
Yeah, man.
You one mellow in my mind state. Melodic energy, it vibrates. As these times change, I feel like I'm the same. And all my clients got it in for me, cause I live a life of infamy.
After he passed away, I went through... I was just constantly listening to, like, you know, Clickbait, which is a great name for a tune. Clickbait and all the tunes that Ross from Spring Break made videos with, and like all the mellow stuff. I really like all the mellow instrumentals. I think the best track he did, obviously not including any Jack of Trades things, The one, my favourite one is State of the Union that he did in the Loki.
The clock's turning, the pot on the hob's burning. I stop loving what it wrought on my hollow yearning. And not raw as in Johnny Rotten, raw as in how a sledgehammer shoots a point youngin'.
He's got an instrumental thing called Pinewood that's on YouTube, one of many videos he's uploaded that's criminally underviewed. And he did the video for it, he did video, he did art, he did it all.
Something I asked all of the artists to speak on was male suicide and the mental health crisis, as it's a massively prevalent issue not just in Scottish hip-hop, but also our society at large.
It's an epidemic, man. It's not just in hip-hop, it's everywhere in Scotland, and probably every deprived area in the UK is going through the same thing. I know that I've got friends in Newcastle who are having the same issues as well. And obviously I think because it's disproportionately affecting young men, and the hip-hop scene is, the majority is young men, my opinion is it's a mixture of austerity, social media, pressures, and you know, there's in Scotland we've got obviously drinking drugs, which is definitely not helping the situation either. And I think there's just a lack of services out there for people who are trying to get help. There is help out there, but we need to make that help better. And also we need to look after our friends a bit better as well and make sure. But right now it's just difficult because, you know, I had no idea that it seems like David was battling demons for a while, and I didn't know about that. I just seen him as a guy who, you know, he occasionally would, you know, he seemed like he would get angry, or you know, like, but he's always, you know, he seemed to like get angry about a little stupid thing that happened in a call centre, but it seemed funny. It didn't seem like he was ever actually in. But he was just obviously just a tortured genius, man.
So the people that are predominantly doing hip hop, grime, drill, fucking all that kind of shit, like they're generally the ones that are probably coming through the harder times that are trying to put their shit down and fucking record shit. And that's why usually you see a bit of a theme within that community, just because, you know what I mean, most rappers, they're not talking about the glitz and glamour life, they're talking about the pain and struggles, you know what I mean? So with that comes a lot of fucking mental health.
Talking about things is obviously like very like useful, of course. So I think like talking about things, and also like even in music, like I'm writing a track right now, and it's about anxiety and stuff like that and how you can deal with it. Myself, I suffer from depression and anxiety. I think a lot of people in the community do, and I think it's just more like we have to join together, chat about things and support each other.
Just it's something that should be not stigmatised. I know people are trying their best to break the stigma, but it's still there. So just talk about it more openly, you know, just everyone just be fucking cool to each other. It's simple as that.
I knew David had his struggles. This was an area where we connected with each other, similar struggles. One of the kind of portrayals of the portrayals of suicide in society create a lot of confusion in the minds of people who have to deal with the grief, or people who are struggling with issues. There's this idea that people commit suicide because they're depressed, right? When actually the act of committing suicide is more of an explosive act. So even just like neurochemically, hormonally, you're not actually in a depressed state when you actually do it, right? You're in a state of stress. You're in a state of heightened stress. If you're depressed, it's low dopamine. You're kind of you're neutral physically. Do you know what I mean? You might work yourself up into a stressful state from that place. But even just that idea that people are just kind of depressed and then they just decide, I think for a lot of people, as much as a certain amount of planning is involved, the actual act itself is a moment of madness for a lot of people. And having gone too long with it, bouncing their thoughts off someone else to say, you know, I see how you're feeling, I understand where you're at. What can we do to help you?
As the night came to an end, David's sister Jennifer took the stage along with his family to pay tribute to him.
Every single person who's turned up here tonight, I genuinely don't have enough thank yous, because it just reassures me, my mum, my dad, how much David was adored. David? I just wish he knew how much he was thought of, because this room is filled with people that wouldn't be here if he was not thought of. So I thank you so much. Please don't ever forget him. That's what
All in all, it was a great night and a fantastic tribute to a very talented individual. RIP David McQuarrie. Your music touched a lot of people and you will not be forgotten.